What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to why tiny New Zealand dominates rugby. I think this is my 6th or 7th rugby video, so welcome back. And if you haven't seen my other ones, go check them out. I have a playlist on my channel. And once again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the love. Once again, I did not expect this at all. This is out of left field. I'm sorry for my camera quality and my mic quality. I promise it'll be better. This is just so, like, I didn't expect any of this to happen, so I'm sorry that you guys have to sit through this as well. Alright, with that being said, let's just get into the video. I want to stop talking throughout all my intros. Before that, you guys know I gotta put on my reaction goggles. This video is by Search Party, by the way. Shout out to them. Let's hop into it.
In September 2023, these 20 countries will participate in the biggest tournament of.
Okay, so we got Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, Namibia, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, Japan, Romania, Georgia, Italy, Portugal, France, Ireland, England, Wales, Scotland. All right.
One of the world's most popular sports, rugby.
Rugby union.
And you could make a strong argument that one of these 5 teams will win it. England invented the sport and has reached the World Cup finals 4 times. South Africa won the last World Cup in 2019. Ireland is currently ranked number 1 in the world, and France.
Really? I thought the Springboks or New Zealand was. I didn't know Ireland was.
France is hosting the
I
tournament.
mean, this video might be a little bit a while ago, 2 years ago, but I still feel like the way everyone was talking about them, that New Zealand or the Springboks would be the best team.
Then there's New Zealand, who might win because, well, they're the most dominant team in the history of rugby, and arguably in all of sports history.
Oh. Okay. Why is Ireland favorite? That's the first time I've ever heard of Ireland being good at rugby. Let me know.
Since 1903, the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team has only lost to 7 countries, but has a comfortable winning record against all of them. That's all.
33-2, 34-3. Holy crap, dude! Why? Why are they so good?
All the more impressive when you take into account that New Zealand today only has a population of 5 million people, a fraction of the other countries that have made a World Cup final.
Very unique, obviously, for us to dominate the world because we are a very small part of it.
There is a
Seriously?
following of this team, almost religious at times.
So it begs the question.
I wonder what the rugby culture is like in New Zealand. Now, this video will probably explain it, but how does a country with only 5 million people so dominant? Do you guys just start when you're like 2 or 3 years old and then just do that the rest of your life?
How did such a tiny country create such a dominant sports team? And can the New Zealand All Blacks stay on top?
I also saw that's called a Haka. I'll react to that sometime, don't worry. The Invincibles.
Rugby combines the less placid features of American football and English soccer. You can run, pass, or kick the ball, while at the same time protecting yourself from the combined assault of the enemy.
Rugby is a fast, violent, and chaotic sport with many rules, but one basic premise: get the ball to your opponent's end of the field. The modern form of the game was invented at a school in Rugby, England, around 1820. At the time, England had a world-spanning empire, and it introduced rugby to its colonies, like South Africa and Australia in the 1860s, then New Zealand in the 1870s, where it became especially popular.
When rugby came to New Zealand, it came from origins in the UK where it was very much related to class structure. The elite schools played rugby in the UK.
Tony Johnson is a rugby expert, author, and TV broadcaster in New Zealand.
Welcome back, and Caleb Clark is in.
When it came to New Zealand, it really was the game for everyone. Didn't matter where you came from, what school you went to, you had a go at this game.
That included New Zealand's indigenous population, the Maori. They formed rugby teams almost immediately, and as early as the 1880s, a mostly Maori rugby team called the Natives played matches in other countries.
That's
It was
insane.
indeed a Maori person, Tom Ellison, who first came up with the idea of New Zealand wearing this black jersey.
Those jerseys are how New Zealand's national team came to be known as the All Blacks.
That history is crazy. I have so much respect for teams and organizations that start their traditions nearly 200 years ago, and they still rock that today. I think that's so cool and very respectable.
And in 1905, they set off across the ocean to play matches, which, when played between countries, are called tests. The All Blacks surprised everyone by playing a faster, more expansive, and far more organized style of rugby than had ever been seen before. They played 35 tests, and they only lost once. A success that not only changed rugby, but also how the world saw New Zealand.
New Zealand was starting to search for its own identity. This was the start of it. This was New Zealand. Not so much a British subject anymore, but our own people.
After the tour, the All Blacks embodied that new national identity by fusing rugby with New Zealand culture, most famously by performing a Maori war dance called the Haka before every test.
I think initially the Haka
Dude,
was,
I want to
was a
watch
greeting,
this so
also
bad.
a challenge, often performed before a battle. Some people feel that the Haka gives the All Blacks an unfair advantage. It's psychological.
In 1924,
Ah,
this
come
All
on
Blacks
now.
team
What do you
won
mean
all 32
unfair
tests on an
advantage?
overseas tour, earning them the nickname the Invincibles. They raised New Zealand's expectations for the All Blacks from simply winning to dominating world rugby.
The superlative All Blacks rugby machine. They once more confirmed their absolute supremacy. World champion. The New Zealand war machine, all set to join the other nations who've fallen before the invincible All Blacks.
Oh, that's so cool. That looks so cool. I
According
got
to data gathered
goosebumps.
by
I'm not even
ESPN,
trolling. I
Between
got
1900
goosebumps
and
from that.
1989, the All Blacks won 71% of their tests.
How?
In 1987, they won the first ever Rugby World Cup. Then from 1990 to 2009, the All Blacks achieved a staggering 80% win rate. When they did lose, they always turned things around by developing new strategies.
We're not the biggest people in the world. The South Africans produced these giants. England, a very sort of gym-trained muscularity about them. But what we do have is a combination of athleticism, skill, but also be willing to try something just a little bit out of the ordinary.
More than 100 years after it started playing rugby, this small country of a few million people was still producing the best rugby players in the world, year after year. So how does New Zealand do it?
Yeah, why?
To make this
How?
video, we needed to do a ton of research, which meant going a lot of different places on the internet.
Shout out to you, bro. Get your bag, but I'm gonna skip the VPN ad.
The fact that it is our national game, so kids are playing it from when they're small, boys and girls.
Alice Soper is a rugby player and journalist.
You can be 6, so like 5 or 6, and they play something called Ripper Rugby, which is like a primer to the tackle where they have flags on their shorts.
Ripper
Yeah,
rugby
we
teaches
have the
kids
same
how to
thing
run, pass, and catch.
with
And it's how New Zealand maximizes the
NFL
number
here,
of people
flag
who try
football.
rugby, thereby maximizing the pool of talent, entering a pipeline that feeds the All Blacks. By the time kids turn 13, they're playing tackle rugby and join club and school teams. Many high schools, called colleges in New Zealand, field multiple teams, again, to keep as many playing as possible. But
In New Zealand, are other leagues popular too? Like high school leagues or whatever after high school, or like these other leagues that are bringing these kids up? I think it'd be cool if they had like fans at their games and stuff too, cheering them on. And do they have that? Or is it just professionals that draws crowds?
But the best boys play on their school's top team, where the best of the best are increasingly identified as potential future All Blacks.
You could almost liken it to college sport in the United States.
Okay.
You're watching Land Rover First 15 Rugby, where we show you the stars of tomorrow today.
This is so cool, bro. My biggest gripe with other national sports is that they had no college support like we do in the United States. This is sick. This is so cool. Is there other games and stuff like this? I want to watch this. This is awesome. The vibes here are so cool. Oh, man. I bet this would be sick. I'm getting goosebumps.
Then after graduating, the
Oh,
best are hired
that's
by
so
teams
cool.
to play in New Zealand's professional rugby league, Super Rugby. Only professional players that play in New Zealand are eligible to reach the top level, the All Blacks. It's a way for the team to ensure that there is a constant stream of new players that learn the game the New Zealand way.
They have to be all things. So they've got to be able to kick, they've got to be able to run, they've got to be able to tackle.
There's an expectation that they will play rugby the way the New Zealand public expect to see them play, which is this rather flamboyant style.
Possibly the greatest generation of All Blacks ever played from about 2010 to 2016. Over that time span, they won 90% of their tests and never lost at home. Plus, they won 2 more World Cup championships. Several players on the 2015 team played at the same schools, and they all played for one of 5 Super Rugby teams.
Probably the most well-known would be Richie McCaw. He was your typical kind of like hard man, absolutely no fear going into the contact.
Daniel Carter, for example, who was like the Joe Montana.
Hold on. Look at that play. Okay, wait, actually, these are the schools or the teams, the Hurricanes, Blue, Chiefs, Highlanders, and Crusaders. Okay, that's cool. So are these all schools, or are these teams in a league?
Most well-known would be Richie McCaw. He was your typical kind of like hard man, absolutely no fear.
Look at
going
this.
into the contact.
The way he
Daniel
just
Carter, for
steals the
example,
ball,
was
that's
like the
sick.
Joe Montana of the All Blacks. He was a brilliant player, but he was a great strategist as well.
But while the top of the pipeline gets all the glory, New Zealand's real advantage, bigger rivals, is at the bottom.
Other countries may have a similar kind of narrow trajectory through your schoolboys into your academies. They just don't have as many people bundling in at that beginning point.
It's quite a rugged sort of a game that suited the early pioneers of New Zealand, and these days it provides opportunity for young people coming out of perhaps some of the more difficult socio-economic areas of New Zealand.
So the All Blacks dominate rugby because New Zealand transformed it into a game for everyone. But whether or not their domination continues
Dude, that's sick.
is up for debate.
Huge World Cup upset. His men are too good for the All Blacks.
In 2019, the All Blacks failed to make the World Cup finals. And
Damn.
in 21 and 22, they lost a stretch of 6 out of 8 tests, which pushed them to an all-time low ranking of 5th in the world. It led some to speculate that the All Blacks were in decline and question whether they could continue to dominate world rugby. Blame was placed on the COVID pandemic and the All Blacks coach Ian Foster. Most importantly, though, the losses forced New Zealanders to reflect on how their country's relationship with rugby is changing. A 2018 report found that the number of high school boys playing rugby was falling, while other sports were on the rise.
Football, as in soccer, I'm guessing. Basketball. Basketball. New Zealand plays basketball? I know a lot of countries play basketball, but I didn't know it was this popular. That's cool.
Phenomenal success in sports like rowing, basketball, but they've taken away athletes who once upon a time would have been All Blacks.
Like a lot of kind of male prevalent sports, they then start to take on that identity of like real heavily masculine spaces, which isn't necessarily what people want to be around. It's become out of step with younger New Zealanders.
And many worry that high school rugby is increasingly dominated by a few privileged schools that are making the game too professional at the expense of the rest. A 2013 investigation found that 5 schools in Auckland are estimated to have spent $400,000 on their rugby teams, while their competitors spent only $50,000. Over the next 5 years, the number of Auckland high school rugby teams fell from 225 to 181.
It's become very elitist, with the schools really focusing on the elite teams. What happens to all the players who aren't good enough to play for the first team?
Just a lot of pressure when you're 15. So we're starting to see people realize, oh, well, this isn't working out here. We need to be changing things.
The most immediate challenge keeping the All Blacks from total domination, though, is the rest of the world. The rivals are getting better, particularly France and Ireland. Additionally, professional rugby leagues in Europe and Asia are getting very popular, and they're attracting a lot of New Zealand's players, making them ineligible to play for the All Blacks.
And even the lure of that black jersey for some players simply isn't enough when they think they can set themselves up for life.
In England, you've got a couple of Kiwis that are over there. If you look at the European teams, same thing there. Japan, currently run by a
So it's too hard to get into the All Blacks, so why not just set yourself up for life and go play for another team that's in the same league as one you were trying to get into? I think that's what I was getting back from that.
a New Zealander. We put our people everywhere, and then we're surprised when they start to know our tricks.
So while the loss of these players may hurt the All Blacks' ability to win tests, It does ensure that New Zealanders will continue to remain at the cutting edge of rugby well into the future.
Now, even though the popularity of boys rugby may be falling in New Zealand, the popularity of women's rugby there is exploding, and the women's All Blacks team is number 2 in the world. Thanks again for watching episode 3.
Wow. All right. Well, that was the reaction to why New Zealand is so good at rugby, honestly. And we learned there that it's because of the culture, the way they bring up their players and the way they look up to rugby and respect rugby as a game. And they're not afraid to try new things, to try new styles as well, to be the best in the world. I was also seeing some comments that you guys wanted me to react to the Springboks and a few other players. I also saw some championship games that you asked for. We'll get to all that throughout the week, I promise. But thank you guys so much for all the support in the recent videos. You guys are awesome, the best community in the world. Leave a comment what you want me to react to next. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, please. We're on this rugby journey. We're uploading every single day, so get on it. And I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys later. Peace.